I never had a problem claiming mental illness. In fact, I accept it. Yeah, I do. I don't deny it. Why would I have to deny it? I've already been institutionalized twice for it. Never given a specific diagnosis, though. I mean, it's always been maybe, possibly, somewhere within this area. You might have a psychosis, like schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, manic episodes. So, yeah. It's somewhere around there. I've never been told I have narcissistic personality disorder, though. That's not one thing I've been told. Like, I have this huge inflated ego about myself, thinking that I can control the world. Yeah, I don't sit there and think to myself, especially if I don't have a position like that. I don't sit there and think I'm king of the world, especially not on a throne like this. I mean, come on. Here's my scepter, and here's my throne. Yeah, my scepter and my throne. So, yeah. And my broken legs. And my broken fucking legs that I can't use because I'm crippled now. So, anyways, without medical attention. So, anywho. Yeah. So, my broken, crippled legs. Beautiful Kansas sky, my friends. So, I've never had a problem claiming mental illness. All right. I've already been through the psychiatric facilities. I've been through everything, all right, since I was fucking 19 years old. Been there, done that a million times. Talked to psychiatrists. Learned all about psychiatry. I mean, who better than to ask a bunch of psychiatrists about psychiatry? They were like my friends coming in and out of my life, my whole fucking life. I knew these people just as much as they knew me, if not more. So they knew me on a bigger scale, I guess. They had files, documents, everything. They knew everything about me, my medical history. Even before I came in there, they'd say, yeah, I have to look over your case. I got all this. I was like, great, great, great. And then we'd sit and we'd talk. I think I impressed a lot of them. I do. That I wasn't like your typical nut job. That I might have been high functioning. Not because I was incapacitated or whatever. Not because of the reports or anything. Because maybe the reports were not fudged in any way, all right? So, but by the look of my history, you would assume that maybe this guy's a complete and utter nut job, all right? He's already been in 2 facilities. He's been coming to this mental health center since he was like, whatever. He's been taking this medication since he was 19, so he's been on various medications, so I already accepted that. I accepted that years ago. Like so many fucking years ago. Like when I was a teenager. So I never sat there and denied it one bit. I never sat there and said, no, I am not crazy. All right? I've never said that. I was taken to be evaluated when I was 19, like I said, at Menninger's. And they said, we want to continue to evaluate you. And I was just like, nah, okay. I don't know. I think involuntary versus voluntary is a lot different. Don't you think? One crazy person is willing to accept that maybe they do have a problem. And that would be the voluntary person, right? The one that's there and thinks to themselves, maybe things aren't going that great for me. You know? Maybe I'm not, maintaining the right life that I'm supposed to in society. Maybe somewhere I failed. And maybe I do need mental health, help. So I just continued with it my whole life, pretty much. So I never thought anything of it. I never resisted. Nah. I mean, I know there's some people out there who would, if they could, they would not be able to pass a mental health intake inpatient evaluation, even though they assure and will die on the hill that somebody else is crazy. But when it comes to fucking them having to be taking a mental health evaluation to determine if they need to stay at a facility, some people would not pass, and they'd probably be forced into involuntary stays, if not longer, right? Those are the ones that are in serious cases, right? The ones that will go out of their fucking way to prove to you that they are not mentally ill, even though their whole lives are falling apart and they threw everybody around them under the bus and fucked everything up. So, right? The ones that, no matter how shitty their life is going and how much everybody that they got involved totally got fucked over and made a big mess of everything from start to finish, that those people are unable to sit in a mental health inpatient intake evaluation and voluntarily sit there and say, maybe my life is fucked up. Usually those are the people that want to target someone, right? They're the ones that say, I gotta prove something. I gotta prove to the world I will spend everything. I will gamble away my life, my time, my resources, my family, my money, everything. I will die on this fucking hill to prove a point. One point. That this person, there's something wrong with them. All right? I've been in those situations over and over and over again. And you know what? So they take me to these facilities because these are the people who would involuntarily have to stay at a facility if given an intake evaluation at any point. So I go in and I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe there is something wrong with me. These people are saying there's something wrong with me, all right? They're dying on this fucking hill. They're doing everything in their life to prove it. So, why not? Let's see what's wrong with me. I must be a real nuisance in their life that they would die on this hill and spend all their resources, time, and energy to prove there's something wrong with me. So there must be something wrong with me, all right? So I do that. No problem. And I try to maintain my mental health that whole time, all right? So I don't want to piss anybody off anymore. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much mental health care I take for myself. These people just still want to prove it to the point that it's just moot at this time. All right? It's like, why beat a dead horse, you know? It's like beating a dead horse. It's already dead. All right. So yeah, you want me to go to a facility? Sure, why the fuck not? We'll go through the whole thing again because, you know, you're willing to die on a fucking hill. You're willing to spend your time, money, and energy and get crowds and mobs of people against me to prove a point that I'm sure you don't even know what the hell you're talking about because you've never sat there and talked to me like a psychiatrist or psychologist. You never asked me any questions. You just sit there and you study me, right? And what I do is I just go on these lives nonstop. All right? I just go on these lives because I know how mental health is. They have to make sure you're okay, right? They gotta surveillance you. They gotta determine if you're a threat to yourself or society, right? So you're in these facilities, you're being monitored 24/7. Everything's regulated. But they try to treat you humanely, you know. They try to. Especially in cases where you haven't been combative, you haven't been problematic in any way. You've complied with the rules. You've done what you had to do, so I mean, you're there for getting better, right? You're there to get better. You're not there to stay for the rest of your life, right? Because that would be costly and ineffective overall, right? To have like a fucking nut job stay at a fucking facility their whole freaking life and just constantly waste resources until it runs the whole fucking facility into the ground. Like Menegers, you know, in Topeka. Eventually just have a bunch of crazy people you have to take care of nonstop. Right? Because they're totally unable to take care of themselves. But then the people that come in, all right, and they're willing to pay high dollar for good care, you know. The rest are on state facility shit, you know, at this point. So, and they're not getting, like, I don't know, $100,000 in care for an individual, like special care for an individual of intake for a month. So they're not getting $100,000 unless they take someone like me, all right, to study for like a month or two, you know, whatever. See where I am on the scale mentally. How well is my mental health? Am I a danger to society? Am I the type of guy that would go out and buy a freaking gun, even though I am not legally allowed to, because I've already dealt with mental health issues. So that's just not there. I'm not allowed to own any weapons. Really, I'm not. Baseball bat, at this point, my dad gave that to me when I was a kid. All right. Knives, who doesn't have a knife in their house? I don't know. So, I don't know anyone who doesn't have a steak knife or a butter knife or even a letter opener knife. All right, so, I don't know. My fingers aren't that good. Sometimes I can't. Yeah. Paper cuts all the time. Paper cuts all the time because my hands are not good because of this rheumatism I'm suffering from HIV, AIDS, when I used to see a rheumatologist in Hutchison Clinic, Dr. Naveed. I don't see him anymore, so it's gotten like really bad, so yeah. I used to when Diane Pancake was around, but she had me all set up, ready to go every visit. Had a car ready, had me at my visit, made sure I got my medications, my insurance pass, so I wouldn't do this all over somebody and spread HIV/AIDS. So we had that preventatively under control. We knew that I was not going to infect anyone unintentionally, you know. I don't know. Maybe shake their hand on accident and get some blood on them. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, about my mental health. Yeah, why not? So let's study it. They've been studying it since I was 19 years old. So, and I'm almost 50 now. I'm 50. I'm going to be 49 here in a couple of months. Next year, I'm going to be 50 officially. So, 40 years. If you haven't figured it out, then you're probably not a very good psychiatrist, right? You've got dockets, reports, everything. You got stacks of stuff on me at this point after 40 years. I've only been out of the mental health sector for the past couple of months. Just like the past. Because we're still trying to figure shit out, you know, with the whole new insurance, new HIV, AIDS case manager and all that. Trying to figure that shit out. I even had a doctor. I was seeing Nurse Wendy at Salina Healthcare, Family Healthcare. You know, we're trying to figure out what new medications are out there. What's better for me, what's not. So, what kind of different kind of medications were you holistic? We were trying holistic, all right? We were just experimenting, see what's a better fit for me at this point. Because, like, being on 40 years of olanzapine and realizing that you have no sexual function anymore, none. It's not allowing you to sleep. Actually, you're becoming an insomniac because of it. And your muscle tension throughout your back and your neck and your shoulders are so severe that you can't even do this anymore. So basically, I'm suffering massive side effects from the medication after prolonged use. So eventually, it just caught up with me in the end. Totally fucked my body up. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, me and Nurse Wendy thought, all right, we'll try all these schizophrenic medications. All right, so we went through the gamut almost. I couldn't do them. I just could not do them because they were like too intense for me. I mean, a dope head, right? Everybody thought I was like this drug addict, like this hardcore druggie. Out here doing like, I don't know, lines of like meth and coke and dropping ecstasy, and I can't take a fucking mental health pill in one night without screaming at Haunted Twitter like in a message. Oh my God, I can't take this. My head feels like I've been through a train wreck. Like it's just I can't handle it. Can we try something else? You know, they do that at facilities too, you know, at mental health facilities where you get institutionalized. And they'll be like, well, we're going to try this medication, see if it helps you. So that's how I found out I cannot function on lithium. I don't think the doctor thought it was a good idea after that either. I mean, I'd be sitting there and all of a sudden my head like totally crashes on the table in front of everyone. Yeah. Some people can handle it. Yeah, I remember me and a girl, I guess we had both had lithium that day in the mental health facility. They thought maybe it would just try it, see if it helps them. Next thing that you know, we take our lithium, we go to our therapy class, and all of a sudden our heads just go plop on the table in front of everyone. Just totally out in front of everyone. And right before my head plops on the table, I'm like, they gave us dope. Yeah. So. So yeah, I guess lithium wasn't the right medication. Just like Haldol, when they first put me on Haldol, they found out that it was causing severe nerve damage in me. So much so that the use of my arms were becoming, I was incapable of using my arms anymore. That they were becoming retarded, yeah. So I couldn't move them. I couldn't grab anything. Basically, my arms were just stuck in a Key Rex, like Tyrannosaurus Rex state. I was just walking around like a Tyrannosaurus Rex the whole day. And this went on for almost a year. So, uh, eventually the doctors are like, we need to take you off of this. We can see that it's having really bad, severe side effects. And if we don't take you off of it, it's going to be a major malpractice suit. We can obviously see that there's nerve damage occurring here. It's a clear indication and sign. So they took me off of it, put me on olanzapine. I did that for since I was 19 up until just recently, a couple months ago, maybe even a year ago. I said, no, I'm not having any my sexual function is completely gone. I can't move my neck. And, yeah, I'm having major insomnia at this point. We need something new. I'm getting all the fucking side effects from these all at once after so many years of being on it. It's all hitting me all at once. So I was like, all right, mental health. All right. Anyways, I never denied the fact that I was never going to come back in and see Nurse Wendy. I was just doing the trial, you know. We're trying out different things. We're trying out new methods. So I don't end up having to go into a facility again, you know, and that's costly. That's costly. You got night stays, you got to be fed, you need to be everything. Everything needs to be taken care of for you, you know. Make sure that you ain't doing shit that you ain't supposed to do. So, anyways. I'm totally in compliance with that. I have no fucking problem. I have no fucking problem. I have no fucking problem with that shit. So, I mean, if you're willing to fucking die on a fucking hill for it, go right ahead. I don't mind talking to psychiatrists. About my mental health or anything about mental health. The more you know, right? The more you know. The more you know not to go down certain avenues in life. Like, I don't know, become obsessively compulsive about individuals to the point that you become a danger to yourself and society. You know, that's how women get beaten to death and missing. Because they get some psychotic boyfriend that, you know, has mental health issues and he becomes like mentally ill over her. You know, fatal attraction bullshit. Or a woman does that and she starts poisoning her husband, you know, because she thinks he's out there like fucking all these chicks. but he's actually at work, you know, busting his ass while she's having an affair with the mailman or some shit like that. I don't know if you know what I mean. So, yeah, anyways. I don't know where I was going with that thing. But yeah, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. So those type of people usually go into mental health places like involuntarily. Those are your involuntary stays. Ones that are really dangerous to society. Not the ones that are willing to like voluntarily come in and find out what the hell's wrong with them. You know. Those are usually the people be like, obviously there's something going on. I need to figure it out. You know, it's like they have cancer or some shit. And they're not feeling good. So they're willing to go to the fucking doctor and say, I have cancer. I need some help. All right. Everyone says I don't look good. I got this huge growth in me. What do we do? Apparently there's something wrong and I want to get it fixed. Versus, there's nothing wrong with me. I didn't mean to fucking kill him, you know, or her. I didn't mean to fucking do it. It was an accident, you know. I was completely confused. I believe this bullshit, yeah. That's why I got the whole community after them to try to sabotage and kill them. So, yeah. Those are the ones that need involuntary stay. They're dangerous to themselves and society, you know. They really don't have a legitimate reason or point to do it. They're always just, you know. So those are your involuntary stays. But as for me, I'm more than willing to walk right in there and say, hey, it's me. I'm the problem, it seems. At tea time, everybody agrees, you know. I'll stare directly at the sun, but not in the mirror. You know, so. Like Taylor Swift. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it seems. All right. I've accepted that part, so. All right, so. Mental health. Great. Not a problem for me. If I'm the problem, it seems. And everybody agrees, so. And at tea time, everybody agrees. Anyways. So anyways, yeah. I've been living here for 20 years. In this apartment. This is all my, yeah, I've had to make some adjustments, but ultimately I try to keep it clean. Ultimately organized and clean, so. Yep, I try to keep it organized and clean, and even if it's a mess, I still try to keep it somewhat organized and clean. We all know that. I don't just leave garbage all over the fucking place. Which is obviously a mental health issue too. That's a real bad psychiatric problem where you're able to take care of your to do it for you. And if you don't, you threaten them. You need to die, kind of. So I've been living here for 20 years. 20 years. Paying rent on time. Going to my mental health doctor. Going to my doing everything I need to do to maintain whatever status or health determination to ensure that, you know, I'm not problematic in any way to society. Sure, I made a few mistakes, like everyone else. When you're in times of desperation, you know. You ever break up with someone and go on the rebound? Yeah. Well, I have, if you haven't. Sorry if that's a problem. So, it's just that one time I ended up catching this terrible disease. So but it wasn't from the rebound. It was actually from the relationship. So, anyways. But yeah, not knowing at the time probably affected a lot of things. Not being informed ahead of time of what had happened may have changed a lot of outcomes. But, you know, when I did know, I always gave a warning. I was like, no, probably not a good idea. Probably a really bad idea. No. But you know, some people, they just can't take no for an answer, regardless. Because you don't want to come out and tell everyone, especially after you tell them no. You know, but, yeah. Sometimes telling people no is just not good enough. It's not a full sentence to them. And then when they learn their lesson, they need to blame someone. It's not my responsibility. If you want these panties dropped, you know. And you can do anything, even lie. But, you know, I don't mind it. I'm a guy, so. I'm not gonna file some lawsuit on you about like some hanky-panky rough shit. But anyways, I've already told you no. You're probably not gonna listen to me anyways, right? You just see this dude. He might be really, really fucking hot, so. Anyways. So I ended up like, so I ended up catching whatever at the time. Well, bad relationship, you know. You live, you learn. So sometimes you don't catch things in time, you know. You might accidentally, like, and even then, you tell people no. Even when everybody knows. Even when everybody fucking knows. Even, you know, everybody fucking knows at this point. And you're like, no. No. The word's around the town. All right. The word's around the town. If you haven't heard it, then you probably should just comply and say, all right, okay. I know the candy looks good. It looks delicious. It doesn't have a car, so it, you know, it fucking rides a bicycle 6 miles every day. It looks hot as fuck. All right. Can't help it. It works out a lot, you know. It busts ass. So. And no, this candy doesn't go to fucking like McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken. No, he doesn't eat that stuff. He goes home and eats like healthy, cheap shit. I don't know, like tuna fish sandwiches and shit like that. With maybe some chips or something, you know, or he might eat some rice with some vegetables because he really can't afford, like, I don't know, almost a $30 meal from McDonald's. I mean, seriously, I could sit there and eat a $30 meal. I don't know any guy that can. Just feast on a fucking McDonald's feast the whole fucking day. We're talking about a boatload of fries, 20-piece chicken nuggets. This is my rundown when I want to feast on McDonald's every like blue moon, like every 10 years or something. Boatload of like fries, all right? Big Mac, but I prefer the Grand Mac personally. I don't know why they quit making that. It's so good, but quarter pounder with cheese and 20-piece chicken nuggets. And I just love any kind of sauce with that. Any kind. I do love Coca-Cola. That's like my favorite drink. But I usually don't get it because I can't ride a bicycle with like Coca-Cola. Holding a Coca-Cola. So I usually stock up on like some cheap store brand liter of pop for $1. So but when it comes to the food, I'm gonna spend at least like almost $30 on a feast that I can eat and chow down all day on. So but yeah, so I don't do that often. So yeah, this candy looks probably really good to you because he lives off of like tuna fish sandwiches and but yeah, even when everybody tells you don't and he's telling you no, but the only people in town that are telling you yes are people that are already down and out on their lives, so, and they don't really give a fuck. So anyways, I've been living here for 20 years. In this apartment for 20 fucking years. 20 fucking years I've been living in this apartment. So, yeah. I don't usually keep trash like that. I don't. I usually put it over there by now. But given the condition of my legs and now that I have to use a scepter on when I sit on a throne. Before I used to just squat right here, out here in the open. But since my legs got all fucked up, I have to sit on a makeshift throne. A makeshift like throne made out of plastic crates and used towels that are used like rags. So you know, rags as my comfiness on my delicate cush and on the plastic fucking crate throne with like frogs that come here at night as my guardians. You've seen the videos. So I've been living here for 20 years, paying rent for 20 years, being on social services, all right? Because everyone says I'm crazy and now I have HIV/AIDS. So obviously I'm doing something wrong again. Getting with my life, all right? I can't maintain a job. Because of my mental health and now my physical health with HIV because I have a communicable disease. And but somehow in 20 years I've maintained everything I need to for 20 years to be able to live in this place, to have internet access, to have a cell phone and electricity. Like those are my main bills, my main top of the line bills, all right? Like those are the things I need to pay for aside from food, because as far as DCF food assistance, I definitely don't get enough. So I'm still dropping like $300+ at Walmart for food and basic needs, right? Like soap, uh, dish detergent, laundry detergent, toilet paper. You know, your basic household items you need. So food, household items. Those are like my main things when I buy Walmart, because I can't really spend anything beyond $300. I don't have that money, so. And DCF food assistance ain't giving me enough to offset the $300 extra I have to spend out of my own pocket just to feed myself. All right. It gets exhausting going over to the fucking food bank all the time when I'm like this. All right. I can't sit there for like 5 hours all day without anything to eat and feel like I have to sell my soul for like a bag of rotten fucking vegetables. So, and get shaken down and searched by a bunch of like drug dogs that piss all over my food. So, yeah. I'm not there for the drugs, first off. I wouldn't be there for the drugs, I'll tell you that. I'm there for the food because I don't have any food. If I had food, I'd probably, if I could afford caviar and champagne wishes and caviar dreams, I'd probably do lines of coke on a fucking yacht right now, but I wouldn't be sitting here begging and pleading for a bag of rotten vegetables, assholes. So, anyways, we got that clearing out of the way. Yeah, and then going home with it being covered in like drug dog piss all over the place. Yeah, nothing like having to come home and wash dog piss off of all your fucking rotten vegetables. Or like, I don't know, stepping in dog shit. Yeah. And then getting on the OCCK bus and trying to play it off the whole time. Because there's drug dogs everywhere. Because you just want a bag of rotten vegetables. So you step in dog shit by accident and you walk on the OCCK bus. That's supposed to help retards like me get to wherever I need to go safely and securely with the assistance and help I needed, which I never received. So, yeah. Even when I'm bleeding all over the fucking place, because, you know, I'd hate to show it again, my hands 1,000 times. Because God forbid, I wasn't on my HIV medications properly. And an OCCK person came and helped me, and I bled all over them, and then they'd have to be rushed to the hospital to go through a 72-hour antiretroviral body cleanse to ensure that they didn't have HIV-infected blood in their system by accident. I don't know, maybe they got cut while they were helping me or something. Or I held their hand on accident, got blood all over them, and they had a small cut. Or they got it in their eye or their mouth. I mean, like, any scenario is possible, right? Any scenario. It's life, so. I'm not trying to be flippant or facetious in any way. I'm not trying to prove some point like I'm better or being arrogant. I'm just being tough love, truthful, honest on this subject, all right? I'm telling you the truth. Why place anybody's health in jeopardy, right? In that situation, so. Anyways, I haven't had my HIV medication in years. So, or in a year now, almost. I haven't had it. Because the last one I had, the Cabenuva injections, left me debilitated and messed up. And my legs don't work. And I'm crippled for the rest of my life. And I might need amputations. So, yeah. From the Cabenuva, HIV/AIDS injection medication. So, Yeah, anyways, welcome to my life. So I did everything I had to do just to maintain this place. Paid rent on time, paid everything for 20 years. At first, the first 3 to 5 years, it was rough, for anyone, to kind of just get adjusted. It's a new move. You're starting all over. You got to make everything like in place, right? You got to change everything. You got to do this. You got to try to weed out all those people that are trying to come into your life and say they love you at that time. Because you're trying to get back on your feet, right? You're trying to get a life going early on in your 20s. You don't want to get left behind in the group. You don't want to be that 40-year-old guy living in your mom's basement still, playing video games. You want to be able to say, at least I have my own place. Mommy and daddy don't have to like cook and clean for me. I can do it myself. So anyways, so I made sure I made sure through all the mental health, through everything, maintaining my health, ensuring that my mental health was sound. My physical health, in terms of whatever's going on here, and the HIV was under control. And then when I finally thought, well, let's try something new. I've been on this Biktarvy for a while. And then I end up not being able to use my legs anymore, and possibly needing an amputation here soon for both of them. So, and calling and screaming out, because just in the past month, all my accounts got shut down after this happened. After my legs got debilitated and I couldn't use them anymore, my accounts got shut down. Couldn't get into my bank account. Couldn't get into my Boost mobile cell phone account. That was canceled indefinitely, permanently banned after 15 years. 15 years of paying it. 15 years. So far I only have electricity still, and my internet for some reason is still going. So even though they keep sending me messages, you need to pay this stuff, I don't have transportation, so there's definitely no way I can fucking like walk 2 to 3 miles to my bank and pay my rent that my landlord had asked for yesterday. Knowing full well I don't have transportation and I can't walk. I mean, you've seen the footage like 1,000 times of me just sitting there squirming in front of him. Hey, Blake, come, hurry up. I need to tell you something important. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, mind you, it's hard to not have that rent money on time every month for 20 years on the dot, right? You get used to it. Never miss a beat for 20 years. Never miss a motherfucking beat. I don't think you have too many tenants like that, from what I can tell. Buddy. I can tell. I've seen it for 20 years. They come and go just as quick as they come in, right? I've seen eviction notices get slammed up against their doors too. And not by you, my friend, by law enforcement. You know, law enforcement. Pow! Up on their door. And I've been here for 20 years, paying rent on time, every day, every month, on the dot, anywhere from the 1st to the 3rd, because we only have up until the 5th. That's the agreement. You have until the 5th to pay it. So after that, it's a mess, right? It's a mess. So, and then you have to get law enforcement involved to get your ass out of here. So I can show you the text. I'll show you the text anyways. But yeah. Anyways, last month, I lost all access to everything unsuspectedly. Just out of nowhere, after 20 years, everything got shut the fuck down. Overnight, locked here after the Cabanuba turned me into a fucking cripple. A cripple. One that can't use his legs anymore. Because, you know, when I felt like frustrated and angry, and I wasn't having a, like, you know, the perfect day, alright? They teach us at, like, the mental health facilities that you should go for, like, exercise. It's good for you. Go for a walk. Go get some exercise. Because physical health is also mental health, right? Why feel frustrated and angry with people when you can go on a good brisk walk? Get everything cleared out. They teach you that in those mental health facilities. Most of them do, I think. I've talked to psychiatrists about it, and they're like, yeah, exercise is a great way. It's good for you. It doesn't make you sit there and ruminate and turn into a beast. But anyways, I can't do that anymore, so just sit here and talk shit on my fucking, yeah, James can't, like, now he's like this forever, like, anyways, skin doesn't look that great either, does it? Skin looks kind of weird. Anyways, I don't want to take my socks off because, I don't want my feet dirty because I don't want an infection. So, yeah. Oh shit. Here comes the wasps. The wasps team. They're always some hotties, aren't those? What are you gonna do? Say no to a bunch of hot fuckers like that? No. Sure, yeah. Sure. Why the fuck not? We'll just have like Lana Del Rey's like song playing in the background in my head. Hello, officer. I've been a bad girl. Yeah. You remember that TikTok trend? Yeah. Where all those pretty little girls stand by the really hot officer, and he's just sitting there looking at him, and she's just all shy, trying to be cute around him. It's like, don't mess up. And she's just like, oh, you're really cute. Anyways. Anyways. Hi, officer. Lana Del Rey in the background playing. I've been a bad girl. Anyways. I mean, there's been a couple of them I've seen that. I wanted to have that song playing in the background, you know. Anyways. Mental health, 20 years here. Lost my ability to exercise now. So that affects my mental health. Now I'm just sitting here in like bad health. Without Medicare, without Medicaid, without Ryan White Part B. Without any medical assistance. All in 1 month. All in 1 month. God, I can't imagine what the next step is, though. I don't know what to prepare for. So I started packing up a bag, like a book bag, because that's probably all I'm going to carry. Once I have to leave here. Because at some point, I know I'm going to have to be kicked out. Or the cops are going to come and put an eviction notice on here and say, get the fuck out now, man. Because I'm not my landlord. I don't have that kind of push and pull and power in town. So... even after 20 years of being on dot, it don't matter, so. And you can get verification at Housing Authority, Salina Housing Authority for that. I mean, it's been on record for 20 years. I've been at the same address almost, so. And this U.S. Postal Service and FedEx and UPS. They'll all verify. And even Evergy and Cox Communications. I had problems with Verizon earlier because I was paying $400 a month for service, cell phone service. Until I went to Boost Mobile and they were like, $35 a month. And I was like, that's a deal. 400 to 35, totally. I'll do it. I don't care what the service is like. But as long as if I have an emergency, I can contact whoever. My doctors can come contact me, so. No, Boost Mobile, I don't want your international plan. No, I'm not going to Canada. I'm not going to Mexico. I'm not doing drug cartels all over the world. I just need my doctor to be able to contact me when they need me to come in for something, you know. Or I'm in an emergency case, so. But yeah, I had like an extra bank in there for a long time, so I used to pay extra just to secure for emergencies. It's on record, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a small balance left in there, who knows, maybe not. Times got tough. I needed the extra cash, so. Anyways. Yeah. Am I more of a burden now than I've ever been? At this point. Like, before I could walk. Now I'm crawling like a baby. Expecting to be amputated. By people I trusted, medical professionals. People that like had too much at stake to do the wrong thing. I mean, you don't go to fucking college for like a good fucking even medical school for a good portion of your life, to throw it all away for some criminal behavior, you know. So, like, you didn't go up to the American Medical Association and say, is this ethically right? Do I need to report this? Because I'm looking at possibly throwing my whole life away. And everybody in town with it, if I don't alert you guys first. So I would assume you'd have access to the American Medical Society, given that you're a doctor. I'm sure, I hope you're a doctor. But even the American Psychiatric Society, too. I'm sure there's one. Association. Was it looked into appropriately? Were all the evaluations made? Or is this just coming from some source, outside source, that will stand on the hill they'll die on and gamble everything away, even if it means killing someone to do it? So, yeah. Even if it means taking them out completely and losing their life, I will stand on that fucking hill to prove that there's something wrong with them. And never come to that person and ask them one thing. Are these whatever true? Or is this true? Like, what are you talking about? What is true? I've never heard anything like that. What are you talking about? Is this the reason why I can't walk anymore? That I'm crawling like a baby? What's true? I don't know. Can you explain to me? Can you explain to me why I can't walk to the trash can anymore and throw away my garbage? Or go and look at my mailbox that I haven't been to in almost 2 weeks. So, and why I don't have access to any of my accounts. Or just access to food, like basic human needs, basic human rights, like food, shelter, medical, and safety and security from mentally ill people who will die on a fucking hill and gamble their whole lives away to ensure that they are right and that I need to die because they are right. And I need to suffer because they are right. If that's the case, and I need a mental health evaluation, that they would go to that extreme. I'd go in involuntarily at a mental health facility if they believe that I need to die so that they are proven right for the whole world to see on YouTube Live. James Yong Kerby, YouTube Live. If I have to die for them to prove a point, to the point where they'll take everything away that I've had for 20 years. Stable, secure, trying to be a functional member of society. Not a burden, but a functional member. Doing everything you can. doing everything he can to stay in line. Not going out and doing cocaine all night and fucking every fucking felon that just got out of prison. And buying shit, like, until you're, like, broke as fuck. And then having to file, like, bankruptcy. Or some shit, you know. After multiple divorces and multiple home foreclosures. Anyways. I don't know. If I have to die for them to prove their point. I mean, I'm more than willing to go into a mental health place involuntarily if I'm, hi, it's me, I'm the problem, it seems. At tea time, everybody agrees. Right? We didn't have to go to this extreme. That was extreme. That's like death penalty extreme. So, of which I don't believe in. I don't believe in a death penalty. Maybe that's the reason. Well, whoever did this believes in the death penalty. They better hold it up in court, too. They better hold it up in court. If your convictions are so strong and your loyalty to the death penalty is so strong that you'd take somebody else out, and only to find out they're an innocent victim. You better stand firm and loyal and strong and on that hill that capital punishment needs to be maintained. Regardless of the situation you're placed in. Sure, you might walk out of there free and hot and bothered like a man that just got his dick sucked by the judge, but and your lawyers, but yeah, it's not going to be easy walking around town, I bet. Because everybody knows what you did. I don't have to worry about proving anything. We'll let God do that. I call it let go and let God. Whatever psychosis you want to call that, spiritual psychosis or what have you. I just know I'm an easy target. That's why I just let go and let God. Even if you get done like swallowing the every judge's and every lawyer's dick's not in the end. You can't do it to the whole town. You might only do it to a few people, but definitely not the whole town. Yeah, definitely not the whole town. I can imagine sitting in a McDonald's somewhere and everyone talking shit about you, right? Looking at you. Yeah, I've done it for years. I wonder how well you can handle it. You ever sat there by yourself at McDonald's and eat, and people stare at you and talk? You really don't know who they are. I don't mean to sound paranoid, but Apparently they know who I am. Or they wouldn't be sitting there chit-chatting and looking at me. While I eat by myself, kind of things, you know? Shit like that. I wonder what the... Anyways, I wonder what... yeah. Still don't know. I'm still waiting for the McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That guy said you don't need to mix whatever chemicals into it. Just set my, like, after melatonin medication off to the side. Why the fuck not at this point? Obviously, I can't get any food, so... What do you do when a mouse or a rat, you want to get rid of it because you know they're hungry? You trap them, right? So, anyways. Yeah, I'm at that point where I'm willing to eat anything, so. Even my mom's fucking dog. Yeah. My mom's fucking dog that eats fucking duck. I'm willing to kill that thing right there out in the fucking parking lot and cook it up. With a bowl of rice. Soy sauce, sugar, sesame seed oil. Some hot pepper flakes. You know, kind of ghetto Asian American style. Not the way she can cook, though, but, you know. They say only crazy people do that. Eat dog in Korea or Asia. Crazy people do that. Only crazy people do that. You know why crazy people only do that in those places? Like Asians who eat dogs are considered weird and crazy. Because they can't get out of that fucking, like, war era lifestyle. Like famine. Yeah. Or your only option is some stray dog running down the street for food that night, so. They can't get out of that mentality, mindset, I guess. I don't know. Pork, chicken, fish, and beef is just not good enough, I guess. Something about that dog meat, you know. But, you know. Once you start, you just can't stop, I guess. Especially if you grew up like that, you know. Anyways. Just one of them days. So am I crazy enough to kill my mom's fucking dog out here in the parking lot in front of everyone and then bring it in here, clean it up, and eat it? Would I be that extreme? Probably in a couple of days. I'm getting there, though. Mind you, I've already decided how I want to prepare him, so. I mean, the other option is McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Pizza Hut, but that's not going to happen. Shit, a delivery from Walmart would be splendid. Food that's already, like, prepared and ready, so. But yeah. If push comes to shove, I'm more than willing to fucking kill a dog and eat it. If I'm hungry enough, so. I'm that crazy, I guess. I'm that level of crazy. That I'd kill like a dog to eat it if I'm that hungry. What about you? What are you gonna do? You know how long it takes to grow a carrot? You know how long it takes to raise a chicken? Yeah. You're a little too late to that game. Anyways, I'm gonna go back in. Yeah, city folks. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a farm now. I'm gonna grow whatever. Yeah. You do that, sweetheart. I'm gonna be self-sufficient. I'm gonna live off the grid. Yeah, you do that, sweetheart. I hope it works out well for you. You ever live off the grid? No, I haven't. But it looks so splendid, doesn't it? Living on your own. Yeah. My grandparents did that. We used to live with them. Sometimes the water is real dirty, like really fucking dirty, and you don't want to drink it. Even when you have a well and a pump and shit like that. You gotta get into that groundwater. And your septic system might end up getting, because you don't have like real like sewage system out in the middle of like, so you shitting on like a hole in the ground. I don't know. God forbid you get like, I don't know, some kind of contamination or snake bite or whatever. Or get trapped out in the middle of fucking boondock somewhere because you don't have enough gas. 2 miles straight into the woods of fucking Appalachia, where they tell you it's probably not the safest place to go. It's not the safest place. So bye.